Okay, guys, so this is, just want to talk a little bit about a technique of how I recondition my brushes. You can decide if you want to recondition your brushes this way or not when you see the end. So, I've got two different brushes in two different conditions. This brush is a fan brush. It's a Bob Ross fan brush. It's got dried paint in it. Evidently, I don't know when. Anyway, it's dried. Normally, this brush would be ruined. This brush, I use this brush a lot. And just over time, it gets plenty of residue in it, and it becomes not as soft and supple as it could be. So, part one of this video is pretty easy. And this is not a sponsored video. This is just what I use. So, I have here, the label's covered up, but this is Jack's Linseed Studio Soap. Jack's Linseed Studio Soap. I buy this in 8 ounce because I use it a lot for reconditioning. I've reconditioned different brushes probably about once a year, but every month I have it on my checklist to go through and look at all my brushes and see what needs it. So there's really nothing too fancy about this. This is another brush. This is just a cheaper brush here, and it's got some black paint in it, acrylic. So this time we're gonna do the same thing with all of them. So now this is really hard, so y'all pay attention here. Take this brush and just insert it into the thing. Same with this brush. Insert it. Might wiggle it around since it's a fan brush just to make sure you get it. And then this brush, we'll just insert it. All right, that's it. I put as many as 15 brushes in here at a time without much problem. So this is a short part of the video. We're going to come back in 24 hours. We'll look at these brushes and see the impact that this studio soap has had on them. And then we'll go to step 2. It's a 3-step process. See you guys. Bye. Okay, so you remember in part 1, hopefully you're still watching it, we were using this Jack's Linseed Studio Soap, and we had each one of these brushes that had some problems. So let's just take them out now. So this is the one that had the paint dried in it. So let's just take it. We're going to take a little bit of Dawn. First we're going to open the lid. Take a little bit of Dawn dishwashing detergent. And just kind of rub it in here along with that linseed soap. And as you can see, it's turning yellow because the paint is just dissolving. I'd like the water to be a little bit warmer than that. Oh. Now usually, let's take these. It's been a little less than 24 hours, but it's close enough. If it doesn't all come out on the first try, you can just put it back in for another 24 hours if you want to, and it'll get it out. Let's see how we did though. I usually just kind of take my brushes and do them like this, like I'm using them, except just do it on my hand. And that allows me to see if there's any, if it's nice and clean like that, you pretty much probably got most of it out. So let's just rinse this brush. See where we stand. All gone. All right, let's go to the other one. Now this one had some black paint in it. So before I put any Dawn on it, we're just going to show you the linseed result. So it's softened that right up. Just put a little bit of linseed oil on it. Even a little drop of this is a little too much, but it'll rinse out. Shake it a little bit. Clean all the way down to the ferrule, as you can see. All right. One more. We'll do the same thing with this one. This is the one that was so stiff. It looked clean, but it felt stiff. see it's pulling some burnt umber out, which is what I use that brush for the most. All right. Drop on each side. Now you really want to kind of scrub these down though, because you really want to get them into the, get all the way down into that brush to get it nice and clean. You see it's still bringing burnt umber out. If you're worried about getting paint on your hands, just use some rubber gloves. Now be sure that you rinse these really good to get the soap out. Both types of soap, the linseed soap and the other. Now you can choose at this point whether you want to shape your brushes now as they're before they dry, or if you want to shape them. We're going to condition them is step 4. Step 3 is letting them dry. I'm going to shape. I like to shape mine both before and after. So we'll just take this brush, tip this up a little bit so you guys can see better. Hope that'll stay up. All right. I got some water on the counter, so let me try this again. I'll take this brush, I'll fold this towel. So I take the brush, and I'm just shaping the brush by tightening the paper towel all the way around it. I'm going to wrap it up, and I'll leave it sit for, I don't know, a little while. Sometimes I'll leave them overnight. Not particularly for, you want to make sure they're good and dry, but so this is the round brush, so we'll just roll it. And then the fan brush. Now the fan brush, something I learned about, this doesn't feel like I got all the soap out. Maybe I did. Let's make sure I did. Okay. Now fan brush, be careful when you're shaping it, because if you don't, so a good way is just to kind of, if you pull it up too tight, because it's kind of at an angle, so it's nice if you kind of angle your paper towel over this way, and then try to fold it on that angle as well. If you don't quite get the angle right, it'll make your brush, when you get ready to condition it, you can shape it again, but the you don't want to unshape it by folding it over on itself. So be careful with that. Okay, so basically that is the end of part 2. Part 3 is letting it dry, so we'll do that, and then we'll come back on part 4, and we'll look at the shaping part when we're reconditioning it, and then we'll show you the end result. Okay, gang, it's the same day that we started off with the drying of these brushes. So I brought these 3. These are the 3 that I just finished. And you can see that when you wash them, they get a little bit fuzzy around the edges. Not too bad. Sometimes, though, they can get kind of, like a 1-inch brush, it'll get kind of blown out. But I'll show you a 1-inch brush that I did recently. So here's one. Now, the next step that we're about to go through is reconditioning, the reconditioning part. So here's one that's done. And look at this baby. It's as supple as it can be, all the way down to the bottom, all the way down to the ferrule. This is a Kevin Hill 1-inch brush. And actually, if you want, I don't know, some people, I'm a little OCD sometimes, but you can actually put that linseed soap on this, on the metal ferrule, and it'll clean it right off. So, let's see what else we got in here. Oh, we got a filbert in here as well. So it's one of my filbert, and you can see how, well, you can't see it from there. There you go. Now you can see how supple it is. You can see how supple this 1-inch brush is too. All right, so let's get to the actual reconditioning part for these other ones here. Looks like I have a couple more set over here that I decided to work on. All right, so let's just put this out of the way. Now all you're going to need really for this is some baby oil. And the way that I do it, you can try it out, do it your own way, of course. It's your stuff, right? So I'm going to do the same thing we kind of did when I started wrapping them for drying. I just wrap them in a paper towel for drying because it dries them out really fast. There's no moisture left in this hardly at all. There's a little bit, but not much. All right, so here I've got a cup of baby oil. I'm just going to set this in there. And I'm going to let it sit there for a second. And I'll do the other one. I'll just go ahead and stick this one in there too. May as well just put them all in there. We'll just put them all in there. We'll work on them one at a time. So when you take them out, there's no particular order. It doesn't really matter what order I take them out in. Make sure that you kind of let the baby oil kind of wipe it out. You don't have to get it. You're not going to get it all out, but just wipe it all out. And just wipe it on the towel like this. All right, and then we're just going to take this and we're going to wrap it just like we did before. So we're going to get an angle on the brush so that we know where the angle actually is. I'm a little bit too far on that one. I need to come back this way a little bit. There we go. Just going to fold that up. And that's about all the paper towel I need for that. So we'll just set that to the side. We're going to let that set until tomorrow. And the paper towel will leach all the rest of pretty much all of the baby oil out of it. So there won't be hardly any left. You can just wipe it off. You can actually lay it on a flat surface like this little piece of wood that I've got here and just rub it back and forth. You'll be able to tell if there's any left in there, but most of the time there's hardly none. There's none, but the brush will be super, super soft. All right, so this is the last one. This is the big one. As you saw, I've done 1-inch brushes. I actually like to do the 1-inch brushes a little more often, simply because I use them a lot more, and I'm cleaning them with odorless mineral spirits most of the time. And if I'm in the process of doing a video, I'm kind of zipping along, and I'm not really paying super close attention that I got the brush completely cleaned out. So, all right, so we got this here. You see this kind of growing on the side. We're just going to take that, and we're going to pull it up tight as we wrap this, and it'll completely solve that. So, all right, we're just going to wrap these up. We'll come back tomorrow at some time, and I'll open them up. We'll do the last video, and we'll post this up. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to send them to me. And be sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you on Facebook and YouTube, both. Okay, so here we are, close to 24 hours later. So let's take a look at these brushes. I'll start with the fan brush. As you can see, it kind of came unwound, but that's okay. It still looks good. I'm just rubbing it here on this flat, shiny surface to see if there's any of the baby oil left. There's not, but just for precaution's sake, I'll wipe it off. All right, and you can see that it bends all the way down to the ferrule, so it's nice and loose. This is the one that had the paint solid in it. All right, oop, wrong jar. Okay, dokie. Let's see what's next. What's next? Let's go with this little one, this little round brush. It too, you can see it's very, very flexible. This is the one that was had the hard black paint in it. So it's all good and ready to go. And then lastly, the big brush. It's pretty flexible. If you saw at the beginning of this, I couldn't hardly bend this brush. It was so stiff. Now its bristles are a little shorter than when it was new, but still, it's got a nice, soft, gentle touch to it. There's no baby oil left in it. The paper towel does a really good job of cleaning that out. All right, so that's it. Just real quick, here's the 1-inch brush that we did. You can see how flexible it is. So it's nice and soft and ready to go. And then this other flat that we did yesterday, the day before. All right, so that's what I do. If you guys have any questions about that, give me a shot. I hope you liked the video. We'll see you on the next one. Bye.